The so-called CIA's Adam and Eve story refers to a controversial document that was declassified in the late 2010s, sparking widespread speculation and conspiracy theories. The document, titled The Adam and Eve Story, was written by Dr. Chan Thomas, an engineer and author in the 1960s. It outlines a cataclysmic theory of Earth's history involving sudden and violent pole shifts that wipe out civilizations in a cyclical pattern, essentially rebooting humanity each time. According to Thomas, these pole shifts cause the Earth's crust to displace, resulting in massive natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions. The theory revolves around Dr. Chan Thomas's claim that Earth experiences regular, cataclysmic pole shifts that destroy civilizations and force humanity to restart its progress from scratch. According to the Adam and Eve story, these pole shifts occur approximately every 6,500 years. The document describes how the Earth's crust suddenly displaces, causing the poles to move and resulting in massive natural disasters. Oceans would wash over continents, massive earthquakes would reshape the land, and volcanic eruptions would spew ash into the atmosphere, plunging the world into darkness and chaos. Thomas suggests that this process is what actually caused the biblical flood and similar myths found in other cultures around the world. He argues that legends such as Atlantis, Lemuria, and the biblical stories of Noah and Gilgamesh are all rooted in real historical events where advanced civilizations were wiped out by these periodic cataclysms. According to the theory, the survivors of these events, like Adam and Eve, had to start over, gradually rebuilding society from a primitive state. The conspiracy angle comes into play with the CIA's involvement. The fact that the document was classified by the CIA led many to wonder why an intelligence agency would be interested in such a seemingly speculative and pseudoscientific theory. Some theorists believe that the CIA, along with other government agencies, is aware of this impending catastrophe and is preparing for it in secret. They claim that the redacted portions of the document may contain specific predictions about when and how the next cataclysm will occur. Supporters of this theory argue that the government has constructed underground bunkers and facilities to protect the elite from this future disaster. They also suggest that other mysterious government projects, such as the construction of large seed vaults like the Svalbard Global Seed Vault, are part of a plan to preserve the knowledge and resources needed to rebuild civilization after the cataclysm. Some even connect this theory to other apocalyptic predictions, such as the Mayan 2012 prophecy or the Planet X Nibiru theories, which suggest that a hidden planet will one day collide with or pass near Earth, causing similar devastation. Critics of the theory argue that it is based on a misinterpretation of both scientific data and historical texts. They point out that while the Earth's magnetic poles do occasionally shift, these shifts do not cause the kind of catastrophic events described by Thomas. Additionally, there is no geological evidence to support the idea of sudden, massive displacements of the Earth's crust on the scale suggested by the theory. They also note that the classification of the document by the CIA may have had more to do with its speculative nature and potential to inspire public fear than with any real hidden knowledge. Analysis of the theory. Let's break down the theory of the CIA's Adam and Eve story. Is there any basis to the idea that the government knows about an impending apocalyptic event, or is this just another doomsday myth? We'll look at the arguments for and against this catastrophic conspiracy. Supporting arguments, classification and redactions by the CIA. The fact that the Adam and Eve story was classified by the CIA has fueled speculation about its contents. Proponents argue that if the document were simply pseudoscience, there would be no need for the government to classify it, let alone redact portions before releasing it to the public. They suggest that the redacted sections might contain critical information about future events or evidence of previous cataclysms. Historical and mythological parallels. Thomas's theory draws on a variety of myths and legends that describe cataclysmic floods and the destruction of advanced civilizations, such as Atlantis, Lemuria, and the biblical Great Flood. Proponents argue that these stories, which are found in cultures around the world, are not mere allegories, but records of actual events caused by past pole shifts. They believe that the recurring themes in these stories suggest a hidden history of repeated global catastrophes. Patterns of government preparedness. Supporters of the theory point to various government projects, such as the construction of deep underground bunkers, seed vaults, and continuity of government plans, as evidence that the elite are preparing for a known future disaster. They argue that these preparations align with the predictions made in the Adam and Eve story, and suggest that the government is aware of an impending cataclysm that will disrupt human civilization. Scientific theories on magnetic pole shifts. The Earth's magnetic poles do periodically shift, and there is some evidence to suggest that these shifts can have significant effects on the planet's climate and geological activity. While mainstream science does not support the idea of sudden, catastrophic crustal displacement, proponents argue that the potential impact of magnetic pole shifts is not fully understood, and that more extreme consequences cannot be ruled out entirely. Links to other cataclysmic theories. The theory is often connected to other apocalyptic predictions, such as the supposed existence of Planet X or Nibiru, which is believed by some to be on a collision course with Earth. Proponents argue that these theories, while not directly related, all point to a hidden truth about Earth's history and future, a truth that governments around the world are allegedly trying to keep secret. Counter-arguments. Lack of scientific evidence. There is no credible scientific evidence to support the idea of sudden, catastrophic pole shifts causing global destruction as described in the Adam and Eve story. While magnetic pole reversals do occur, they happen over thousands of years and do not cause the kind of massive displacement of the Earth's crust suggested by the theory. The geological record does not show evidence of repeated, global cataclysms of this nature. Misinterpretation of myths and legends. Many of the stories cited by proponents of the theory are symbolic or allegorical and are not intended to be taken as literal historical accounts. The idea that these myths are records of actual events is speculative and not supported by archaeological or anthropological evidence. The theory's reliance on these stories as proof undermines its credibility. Alternative explanations for CIA interest. The CIA's interest in the document may have been driven by concerns about the public's reaction to speculative theories, rather than by the validity of the content. During the Cold War, the CIA often monitored and classified information that could potentially cause panic or be used as propaganda. The classification of the Adam and Eve story does not necessarily indicate that it contains hidden truths. Misunderstanding of government projects. The construction of bunkers, seed vaults, and continuity of government plans are standard precautionary measures that do not necessarily indicate knowledge of a specific impending disaster. These projects are designed to ensure survival in the event of nuclear war, natural disasters, or other emergencies, not in response to a predicted pole shift or cataclysm. Psychological appeal of cataclysmic theories. The appeal of theories like the Adam and Eve story lies in their ability to provide dramatic explanations for the world's problems and uncertainties. They tap into deep-seated fears about the fragility of human civilization and the unpredictability of natural forces. This psychological factor can lead people to embrace such theories even in the absence of credible evidence. Probability rating. Chances of the theory being real, 5%. Chances of the theory being fake, 95%. In conclusion, while the CIA's Adam and Eve story makes for a compelling narrative of hidden history and impending catastrophe, it lacks the scientific and historical evidence needed to support its claims. The classification of the document likely reflects the speculative nature of its contents, rather than any hidden knowledge about future events. If you've got your own thoughts on this theory, or want to share some apocalyptic evidence we missed, let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Conspiracy Fox for more deep dives into the world's strangest theories. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.